Welcome to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing, founder of the Reiki Business Collective and creator of the Build Your Reiki Business program, sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Greetings, welcome, and thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. It's Christian of Standing Stones Healing. As always, I'm so honored and excited to be here with you. So thank you so very much. In this episode, we're talking about the benefits of a distance Reiki business, the benefits of starting and growing a distance Reiki business for your Reiki business. Now, distance Reiki business is a topic that we are talking about at the live online Reiki Business Summit this April 18th and 19th. I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But talking in this episode about the benefits of a distance Reiki business is actually really timely for my own life right now. I'll talk more about that in a little bit as well, but I am right now living a real world example of some of the benefits of having a distance Reiki business. So in this episode, I'm sharing with you three big benefits, major benefits that I've experienced on my own Reiki business journey, and that so many others who start and grow a distance Reiki business experience as well, as you may be considering starting or growing a distance Reiki business yourself, including even if you currently have an in-person Reiki business. Number one. Now, is this the number one benefit of having a distance Reiki business? That's up to you to decide. Out of these three benefits, any of them could be number one. This is just number one for our list. But number one is the business model possibilities. When we have a distance Reiki business, we have so many possibilities in terms of what our business can look like, the business model itself, what we do in the business, um, who we serve. I'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But just the sheer model of what we do and how we do it with a distance Reiki business explodes from the possibilities that we have within person. Now, I talk in another podcast episode about how I started my distance Reiki business. I'll drop the link to that episode down below in how to start a distance Reiki business. I started mine on the phone. And so when I started my Reiki business, it started as a distance Reiki business on the phone, which meant that I had so much flexibility. But when we talk about business models, a business model, I know it sounds like a fancy business term, but all it really is, it just means what we do and how we do it. So our business model may be, for instance, that we focus on teaching and how we deliver that teaching. So our business model is just what we do. Let's say that we offer sessions, in-person sessions. Our business model is offering in-person sessions, maybe in a rented office space. That's our business model. Offering in-person sessions in an office setting. And so when we have a distance Reiki business, the business model possibilities are really rather infinite because we can focus on sessions, offering sessions. We can offer courses, teach Reiki classes, teach other classes other than Reiki. We can offer those classes or sessions live. We can offer them as recordings. We can have options where students purchase our courses and the delivery of them is automated so that we don't have to do a thing. This is right now a major component of my own Reiki business where you can go and purchase any of my courses right now. And I don't have to do a thing, and you're going to get that course immediately. So if you wanted to join Build Your Reiki Business, for instance, that is a comprehensive Reiki business program showing you exactly how to start and grow a Reiki business in person, distance, whatever it is you might want to do, that you can start right now and immediately, and I don't have to do a darn thing. You can go to reikibusiness.com/build right now and start that program. Or you can go to reikibusinesssummit.com right now and register for the Reiki Business Summit April 18th and 19th. And there is nothing that I need to do. It is all completely automated. What this means is that I can be sleeping and my Reiki business is bringing in income. This means that I can set this automation up once and I never have to do anything with it ever again, and can simply have students registering for the courses at any time and joining and starting the programs. That's pretty incredible. Of course, we can also teach live. We can offer sessions live. There are just so many different ways to approach a distance Reiki business on the phone, online, however you might want to operate. It's actually pretty exciting to consider the possibilities for a distance Reiki business and what that can look like, how you can serve with a distance Reiki business. Now, also along with the business model possibilities is that the cost to start a distance Reiki business is extremely low. Extremely low. Now, like I said, I talk about how I started my distance Reiki business in that podcast episode down below in the notes. But when I started my distance Reiki business, it cost zero. All I needed was a phone, which I already had, and PayPal, which I also already had. And boom, I had a Reiki business. When we start a Reiki business, all we really need is a way to take payment and a way to deliver whatever it is that we're offering, a way to deliver the sessions, a way to deliver the classes, whatever it is that we are quote unquote selling or offering. All we need is a way to take payment and a way to deliver that. And so a distance Reiki business can be started with $0. All we need is a way to take payment. Payment processors online are by and large free. They get their money by taking a cut of yours, typically around 2.9%, but they don't cost anything to start up. And so a distance Reiki business is the cheapest, lowest cost, even easiest type of Reiki business to start. Now, just because it's easier to start doesn't mean that it is easier to grow and to get traction and to make it sustainable and thriving. That takes a little bit more work. So I want to encourage you to maybe not be deceived by the ease of starting a distance Reiki business, because while it is very easy, it can be more challenging to get it growing, sustainable, and even thriving versus an in-person Reiki business. So when it comes to the business model possibilities, yes, they're greater. The cost is much lower. You can start a distance Reiki business with $0. and make it immediately profitable because of that. But profitable does not always equal sustainable level of income for your needs. So just be aware that for as easy as a distance Reiki business is to start, as low cost as it is to start, it can be more challenging to grow it. And that's why Karen Kag and I are offering support for this at the live online Reiki Business Summit, April 18th and 19th. Yes, I will talk more about that. And so, number one, the sheer possibilities of the business model are fantastic with a distance Reiki business. Benefit number two of a distance Reiki business is the expanded clientele, the people who you are able to help outside of your own local area. When we have an in person Reiki business, we're confined by geographic location, who we can serve. Now, we might have clients traveling to us from maybe a couple of hours away, but we're really limited by how far potential clients are willing to drive, by how far students are willing to drive to take a class with us. And maybe for some students, that's 2 hours. Maybe for others, they're willing to drive 5 hours, take a plane, whatever, to come and have a class or a session with us. But those students are the exception rather than the norm. And that means that our clientele, our student community, when we have an in person Reiki business, is very centered on our local geographic area. And so when we have a distance Reiki business, we are not bound by geography. We can have clients and students all over the world. And I can tell you from personal experience that it's pretty amazing to be able to have clients and students all over the world, to connect with clients and students and to learn about their lives, their cultures, their countries, to be able to help them across the globe and to know truly, to be able to see it firsthand every single day, how Reiki truly knows no bounds. It's inspiring, it's exciting, just like the business model possibilities. There may be someone across the world right now who needs you to start and grow your distance Reiki business. There may be a student out there right now, halfway across the world from you, who would resonate with you, who would want to learn from you, and who is just waiting for you to start your distance Reiki business, who is just waiting for you to offer the class, offer the sessions, to support them in their healing journey, their growth and learning. And so when we think about the billions of people who are in the world, when you have a distance Reiki business, that's your clientele. You could serve billions. I mean, that's like McDonald's, right? Billions and billions served. You could be like McDonald's. I don't know that you want to be like McDonald's. But yes, indeed, you could serve billions. So this is another major benefit to having a distance Reiki business is just the expanded clientele. The expanded clientele. And what that also means is that you can get really very clear and very specific on who you want to serve, and to get very nuanced about your quote unquote niche, your target audience, just really the people who you want to help and serve. Because when you have access to basically the whole world. Now, of course, there are areas of the world that you're not going to be able to reach, whether by phone or technologically on the computer, online. Yes, of course, there are going to be plenty of places you can't reach. And also, because of things like currency conversion, there are plenty of places that you're not going to be able to draw clients from because the currency conversion makes the cost so exorbitant for them that they're not going to sign up for a session or class with you anyway. But of course, that's not your fault. That's not our fault when it comes to currency conversion. But for instance, somewhere like South Africa, the currency conversion makes it extremely difficult for them to book a session with someone who is in the United States, for instance. And so when I say we can reach the whole world, we're not going to be able to reach every single person, billions and billions served, but you get the idea. We really can expand, which means that we can therefore narrow down in terms of who we want to serve. When we have an in person Reiki business only, we're really limited who we can serve in terms of geography. Geography does the limiting for us. And so that means that it's often not as helpful for us, of course, depending upon your location and what's going on in your local area. But it's often not as helpful for us to get very specific with a targeted audience as it is for a distance Reiki business, because when we have an expanded possible clientele, then we can get really specific and really targeted in who we are called to serve and how we want to serve them. And number three benefit of starting and growing a distance Reiki business is the lifestyle flexibility. The flexibility in terms of your own life. Now, we have flexibility with business model, we have flexibility with clientele, but we also have flexibility with your own life. And that is pretty amazing. Now, right now, in my own life, I'm going through a major life change. Right now, I am recording this podcast episode in my parents' attic. Now, I want to apologize for the audio. If you've been hearing things going on in the background, I'm up here in my parents' attic for the past week, living in their attic with my cats. Because we have sold our house. It's my house. It's not well, it's the cat's house, but I was the one who owned it. We sold our house. I sold my house, and I have just bought a new one. And until it's ready, and ready for us to move in, I am spending a few days, almost done, in my parents' attic. And through all of that, the packing up of my stuff, the selling of my house, the purchasing of another house, the moving in, cleaning, moving into a new house, all of the things, all of the upheaval, all of the craziness, my Reiki business is still bringing in money. I'm still earning money. I still have income coming in. Now, I'm not able to focus on my business as much as I usually do and as I like to, but my business doesn't have to stop. One of the things that I did in my business is that my Reiki business has been a hybrid business where I've had, remember, I started online or it started on the phone. I moved to online. I've had in person um, offerings. But as I knew that I was moving, I transitioned more and more of my business to online. I closed down more and more of my in person offerings in anticipation of that. And what that means, what that meant for my move, is that it did not have a major impact on the income in my Reiki business. It did not have a major impact on the Reiki business function itself. And so, what that means is that through all of the craziness, I'm not going without income in my business. I'm not going without any income at all. If I had a strictly in-person business, I would be. I would be closing up shop. I would have no income for the past several weeks while I was packing everything up, loading up my whole life, and transporting it hours away. I would have no income right now, and then I would need to ramp up my in-person practice in a whole new area and have decreased income during that time. But because my Reiki business is a distance Reiki business right now, it's only distance, it means that I still have money coming in. And that really helps to ease a lot of the anxieties, the concerns, the fears when we're in a state of flux like this in our lives, when we're going through a major life change. It's not just moving, relocation that this impacts, it also impacts travel. If I wanted to pick up and move somewhere else across the world or go and stay in an Airbnb in another country, all I need to operate my business is an internet connection. That's all I need. And I can meet with clients, meet with students, promote my courses and services, offer sessions. It's pretty incredible when you think about it that we can be anywhere in the world when we have a distance Reiki business and operate it from anywhere, wherever we choose. Now, as a matter of fact, just before my cats came into my life, I was considering selling my house and just traveling, being a digital nomad. That didn't happen because the cats came into my life and kind of changed that consideration. But it was a real possibility for me. Let's say maybe you have a health concern, a health struggle, a health challenge, and you need to take a step back from your business for a little bit, maybe not work as much. Well, when you have a distance Reiki business, taking a step back is a lot easier. And again, depending upon your business model, you may have no impact to your income whatsoever. Other benefits of having a distance Reiki business include that there's no travel. You don't have to worry about traveling in bad weather. You don't have to worry about going out in the rain if you don't want to. You don't even have to worry about changing. I love wearing sweatpants, and chances are, if you meet with me as a client or student, I'm probably wearing sweatpants. As a matter of fact, sitting up here in my parents' attic, I'm wearing sweatpants right now. You aren't bound to a single location. You aren't bound to a specific geography. You have so much lifestyle flexibility, so much freedom. It's pretty amazing, pretty incredible, and I have to say that I am grateful every single day. I might tear up a little bit here because every single day I am so grateful for having the kind of Reiki business that I do that offers ultimate flexibility and freedom so that even while my whole life is in upheaval, my Reiki business is still functioning. Sure, maybe I'm not as active as I like to be, but the business is still going. I'm still receiving income. Students are still taking courses. And so that even when life is unpredictable, a distance Reiki business, depending upon your business model, offers a sense of stability. And that we don't have to pause our Reiki business when we have life shifts, major life changes that happen to all of us because that's life, right? Right. So when life is unpredictable, when things happen, when we get sick, when we move, when our family situation changes, our distance Reiki business doesn't have to drastically change too. And so these are just three benefits, major benefits of having a distance Reiki business. But like I said, just because having a distance Reiki business offers amazing freedom and flexibility, just because it is cheap or no cost to start, just because it means we can serve way more people across the world, doesn't mean that it's easy. And that's why Karen Kag and I are joining the live online Reiki Business Summit this April 18th and 19th to share our tips and strategies for starting and growing a distance Reiki business. Karen, of course, operates her Reiki business out of Ecuador. So, in the process of operating her Reiki business, she up and moved to a whole other country and is able to successfully operate a distance Reiki business in a whole different location, a whole other world. And so we are sharing our experiences, our tips, our strategies for starting and growing your own distance Reiki business, including if you currently have an in person Reiki business. Because indeed, if you have an in person Reiki business already, this is a great way to shift some of your business into offering a distance Reiki business component for that impactful flexibility and freedom, and yes, indeed, stability too. You can learn more and save your seat at reikibusinesssummit.com. But Karen and I are only two presenters out of a whole transformative weekend. On April 18th and 19th, you'll be able to hear from Reiki leaders like Mary Raposo, Carrie Varela talking about attracting clients. You'll be able to hear from Pam Allen LeBlanc and Tracy Seawright on networking, talking about your Reiki business and creating connections. You'll also hear from Ricky Friedman and Kathleen Johnson about how they started their Reiki business with tips for getting started and growing your Reiki business as well. In addition, you'll have plenty of opportunities to connect live with your Reiki friends who are also starting and growing their Reiki business. No matter where you are on your Reiki business journey, you will find like minded friends, heartfelt connections, and practical strategies for clarity on the next step of your Reiki business journey. Learn more, save your seat, reikibusinesssummit.com, but please don't wait. April 18th and 19th will be here before you know it. So, do you have a distance Reiki business? Are you thinking of starting or growing a distance Reiki business? Drop it down in the comments for us and let us know. And of course, as always, I'm sending so many blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business. Thanks for tuning in to the Build Your Reiki Business podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, and send to a friend. Learn more about the Build Your Reiki Business program at standingstoneshealing.com/build. Sending blessings and best wishes to your Reiki business.